familia, welcome to another Coffee Break with K. I am here with Nick from ViZN Talks, and today we're going to be talking to you guys about a very interesting topic that we both kind of relate to, and that is how to be self-motivated. How are you, Nick?
Honestly, I'm doing great. I've been dying to be on this show, so thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on it. It's honestly a pleasure.
Awesome.
So, how do you self-motivate yourself, and what does it mean to be self-motivated?
That's an awesome question. For me, my self-motivation is very much an intrinsic motivation. Why I say that is because I am motivated by my purpose. I'm motivated by the why I do things. So when I wake up in the morning, I think about generational wealth. I think about impacting my family. I think about impacting the world. And those are the things that keep me self-motivated. I'm not a person that fishes for motivation on the internet. I'm not a person that fishes for motivation in quotes or books. I pretty much get my motivation from real life stuff and the impact I can have.
Awesome. So do you ever find that you do like maybe lose motivation and then find some outward source that keeps you motivated in those like low times of motivation? Because I don't know about you, but I sometimes have those ups and downs that sometimes, okay, I'm really into this like blogging thing and doing my videos and stuff, and I'm super motivated myself and it comes from within, but then sometimes I lose that motivation and I'm like, oh, why am I doing this? Or you just kind of like go back and backtrack. So how do you pick yourself up from that?
Well, how about you tell me? How do you pick yourself up from times where you're losing motivation? What helps you?
For me, it's personally, I feel like I talk to my friends and kind of get motivation from like people that are close to me and just bounce ideas off. And I feel like once I get a really cool new idea, then it really gets me excited to do this again, right? So like, for example, with my blog, like I feel like at the beginning of the year, I was super excited to get into it and like I had so much time. So I did that. And then afterwards, there was a point in time that I kind of lost motivation because people are not reading as much and things like that. So I was like, okay, well, why am I doing this anymore, right? And then this is where the idea Coffee Break with K came in. And it was just another exciting like momentum that started happening again, right? So then I was like, okay, I'm super excited to start filming and learning new things and skills to be able to put this all together. So for me, it's just talking and getting new ideas and stuff like that. So.
That's awesome.
What about you?
Honestly, that's what I was saying. There's times, motivation is one of those things that never remains on 100. Motivation can go from 100 to 80 to 30. Sometimes it'll be at 50, 60, 70. I believe that as long as you can keep encountering your whys, then you can remain as motivated as possible. If you don't encounter your why, then of course your motivation is going to drop to below 100. It's going to be at 60, 40 sometimes. But as long as you can remember your purpose, I believe that you can keep on pushing.
But what if like you don't know your why, or you're having struggles like finding your why, or maybe you lost track of your why? Like, how do you go from there?
Well, that's a good question. I believe that if you don't have a why, or if you lose track of your why, then there's no point of being motivated.
True.
The whole point of being motivated is accomplishing your why. Accomplishing is to do things that feeds back into your purpose. So I believe that if you lose track of your why, you got to find it. You got to find your purpose again. You got to re-encounter it in a new way. And then once you do that, you'll see that it's going to bounce back to your motivation, and you'll be able to have a greater sense of motivation. And then you're going to be as motivated as possible, probably remain up into that 100.
I think one of the biggest things too is I feel like, okay, so we have our why, like why we're doing what we're doing. But then there's different ways that we can do what we're doing, right? So like maybe you're starting this business and then the why behind the business is helping others. But then not necessarily is that specific business the way that you're going to be helping others, right? So I feel like some people might know their why, but then when they lose track of maybe that wasn't the right one, or maybe that business failed or whatever the case is, then they like kind of give up on their why instead of like continuing it. And I feel like for me is like one of the biggest things is making sure that I'm evolving with the times, right? So as we go through times, like times are changing. Like I started with my blog and it was all written, right? Everybody was reading and like more people were into reading things. Whereas now we live in an era that's more like videos, photography, all this stuff that I had to adapt to the times and change my whole blog and everything that I'm doing and the impact that I'm trying to make to others into more something that's more for the times that will be able to have that impact, right? So for me, it's like at the beginning of the year, I was writing a lot of blogs and things like that, and then I lost motivation because of that, because nobody was reading and all the cases, but then I was able to get this new idea of the Coffee Break with K, that I'm still able to do my why, which is helping others in different areas of life, but in a different way. So I feel like finding that different way of doing your purpose or your why will really give you that extra like fire. For example, like as soon as you find a new brilliant idea that you're like, oh my goodness, like that's so awesome, I feel like personally I get super excited to start it right away. You know,
so it's quite simple. If your blog is making impact, you'll be motivated. If you get feedback, you'll be motivated. And if you feel like times are changing and then you evolve from blog to making videos like Coffee Break with K, once you get that feedback, you'll be motivated. You're motivated when you see the impact you're having. You're motivated when your why is actually being fulfilled. If you're making videos and your why is to help people, but nobody's being helped, at least there's no tangible proof of why nobody's being helped, then you're not going to be motivated. So it ties back to that. Your level of motivation remains at the highest when you know your why and when you know your purpose.
That's true. That's true. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It was honestly a pleasure having you on the show, and I'm sure we'll have you soon, shortly.
Definitely.
Coming soon. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another Coffee Break with Kate. It was such an honor having you, Nick, on the show, Vision Talks. I'm sure we'll have him shortly back on the show. And make sure you tune in for next episode. It's something you don't want to miss. I have something great in store for you guys. And until next time, but make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys soon.